P. Boring. Okay. All right, so this is, yesterday we did 0.4 counting techniques, okay? So I have part of this paper filled out. That video is posted as well, or will be anyway. So in this 0.4 counting techniques, there were 3 of them I said that we were going to talk about. The first one was fundamental counting principle. Whoa, wait up here. I'm like delayed. Number 1, fundamental counting principle. Then you go down to the bottom. And there are 2 more, and they are permutation and combination. Permutation and combination. We're going to talk more about those today and learn how to cheat with our calculator, right? Okay, so permutation, combination, all right? So there are different scenarios of when you use each one. When I was talking about the fundamental counting principle and I had like my basketball teams where I was choosing 5 and you all 5 got to choose a jersey listed 1 through 5, I was using all of you, right? But then if I designate it so that I'm only using 3 of you, so out of you 5, I'm only picking 3 of you and I'm leaving 2 of you behind, sorry. Then it becomes either a permutation combination because I'm not choosing all of you, I'm only choosing some, okay? So you'll know it's a permutation combination when you are choosing a number less than the total available. You're choosing a number that is less than the total number that's available, okay? You are choosing a number less than the total number that's available. These questions will literally say, you are choosing 3 out of 5, or you are choosing blah, 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 and then they'll tell you the scenario, okay? You are choosing that many numbers, all right? Now, the total number that you have is N, is labeled as N, okay? In the scenario that I gave you for my basketball team, I have 5 of you to pick from. The number that I'm choosing is labeled as R, and in that case I said I am only choosing 3 out of the 5 of you. That's what R is, okay? All right, so next thing I need to do is determine whether it is a permutation or a combination, okay? When it's a permutation, the order in which I choose you does matter, okay? Combination order does not matter, all right? So combination is what you use when all people do the same, I'm running out of room, same job. Everybody is doing the same job. So if I'm picking 3 of you out of the 5 of you to be on my basketball team, you're all going to be players on my team. You're all kind of on the same level. Maybe you play different positions, but you're all going to be players on my team, right? Okay? So you're all doing the same job. So in that case, it is a combination. We're going to use combination. But if instead, maybe I'm choosing 3 of you to be president, vice president, secretary of a class. Okay, I'm choosing 3 out of the 5 of you to be president, vice president, secretary. Does the president do the same job as the secretary? No, so that case, the order in which I choose you does matter, okay? So I want to make sure I use a permutation instead, okay? You remember this because permutation and president both start with P. P, permutation president, okay? I have that written here, I guess. Shoot, remember president. This one, committee, and combination, both start with C. Combination, committee, both start with C, right? That's how you remember. A committee is somebody, like just people on a committee that all do the same thing. They're all, maybe recycling committee, right? Recycling committee, everybody does the same job, right? All right, so combination, committee, permutation, president. All right, so let's go through these examples down below here, and then we'll talk about how to type those into your calculator again. So suppose you select 3 out of 4 books. How many, underline the word, different ways can you arrange them on a shelf? Okay, so my 4 books that I have are science, math, history, and English. Okay? But I'm only choosing 3 of them. So of course math is going to be chosen, but let's just choose these first 3. So I've got science, math, history. Is that the same on a shelf as math, science, history? If I switch the first 2 around, is that the same? It's asking for how many different ways. So this guy on a shelf looks different than what this guy does. Does that make sense? So does the order in which I put them matter, or does it not matter? It does matter. So this is going to be a permutation. This is going to be a permutation. All right, and so we are choosing from 4, and it's a permutation, and we are only choosing 3 of them. So it will look like 4p3. Okay, now, if you forget and write it out as 3p4, okay, instead, your calculator will not do it. It will put 0, and that's not correct, right? So you will kind of know if you did the right thing, right? The N comes before the R, NPR, 4P3, okay? So on your calculator, what you're going to do, I'm going to try to put this up under the screen so Lacey can kind of see this too. Except she's got a graphing calculator, so I got to do it on this one. She has this guy. All right, so on your calculator, can you guys see the screen? If you have a calculator that looks like this, anybody? Anybody? No, okay. So what she's going to do, I'm going to do this for her real quick, on crap, and it's dead. Well, that's not going to work then. It's like this calculator's up. Got it. Ready? Woo! We win. All right, where are we at here? Blue schools, blah, 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 class resources, scientific calculator. Yes, we win. Ha ha ha. Okay, so I'm going to scroll him off to the side. My calculator is, you got to be kidding me. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. All right, whatever. So I'll just tell her how to do it, okay? So this calculator that you have, Lacey, sorry, I'll fix it if you have questions later. But what you're going to do is you're going to type in the first number. So you would hit 4, and then this math button that is right here, you click math, and at the very top it's going to have PRB all the way over here to the side, and you go down to where it says NPR, okay? You'll click NPR, and then you'll type in 3 and hit enter, okay? So I can go back through that with you if you have questions, but sorry, this calculator is dead. So 4, math, all the way over at the top to where it says PRB over here, and then you're going to go down to NPR and hit enter, and then hit 3, enter. And then it will give you whatever that number is. All right, the rest of you, 4P3. Okay, so type in the number 4. And if you were one of the calculators where, like Jason, okay, where it says the PRB button, where your factorial button was, you're going to hit that thing, okay, and then you're going to type in 3, and it's going to give you a number. What is 4P3? 24. Anybody not find it? You did not find it. Okay, so 4. Your stuff, NCR is down there, NPR is right there. Okay, so since it is in the yellow, you're going to go shift this guy. And you're going to go, okay? NCR is in the same spot. Here, okay? All right, anybody not find it? Anybody else? Gracie, did you find it? Yes, it's under PRB. Okay, whatever. So 4P3, we got it, and it was 24. So there's 24 different ways to arrange those books upon a shelf. Yeah? 24 different ways? Yes, yes. Okay. All right, in part B, how many different sets of books can you take home? Okay, so now I still have N is 4, and I'm still only taking 3 books home. So N and R stay the same, but I am just taking them home. So if I choose the math book out of my locker first, then history, then science, are they all going to come home with me if I choose them in a different order? So does order matter? No. So in this case, I'm going to do 4C3, and you're going to type that into your calculator. Okay, 4C3, so go to the C button instead. Okay, it's still under that PRB. So Lacey, when you did it here, you're going to go to on. You're going to type in 4, go to that math button, go all the way over to PRB again. But in this time you're only going to go down to C instead of to the P. So then you click enter, then you type in 3, enter, and it's going to give you 4. 4. There's only 4 different ways. Only 4 different ways of taking those books home, right? Only 4 different combinations, okay? Now, what the combination does is if you have the same R and the same N, the permutation will always be bigger, a bigger number than the combination. Because what the combination formula does is it deletes out all the repeats. It says taking science, math, history is the same thing as taking math, history, science. So it subtracts out basically that repeat. Does that make sense? Okay, it subtracts that out. So when you have the same R and N, the permutation number will always be larger than the combination number because the combination subtracts out any other repeats. because it's saying those are the same thing. All right, go to the back side. That's going to ask permutation, combination. So permutation, number 3, how many different ways can 2 students be assigned to 5 tutors if only 1 student is assigned to each tutor? Okay, so we need to figure out what n is, and we need to figure out what r is, and then we need permutation or combination. Those are the things that we need to decide, and then everything else is easy. So how many total do we have? 5. Okay, how many are we choosing? 2 students to go with those 5 tutors. Okay, so, oh boy. Marcus is going to be a tutor, and then I'm going to have Casey be a tutor, right? Okay, if somebody goes to Marcus for tutoring, are they going to get the same education as if they go to Casey for tutoring? No, they're probably going to learn a lot less if they go to Marcus, right? Right? So, does it matter which tutor they go with?
Yes.
Does the order in which I choose my tutor matter?
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm going to get a different result no matter whichever tutor I choose. So this is a permutation because order matters, right? Permutation. So 5 comes first, P2, 5P2. That's the number of ways I can choose those tutors. Number of combinations I can choose, 2 out of 5. 20, there are 20 different combinations. 20 different combinations of ways that I can choose a tutor. Does that make sense? Yeah? It matters because because Marcus and Casey are not the same. Okay? All right. Example 4, combination. They tell us it's a combination, but we're going to say why. All right. We need to figure out n, and we need to figure out r, and we need to figure out whether it's a permutation or a combination. They've already kind of given us the answer, but whatever. Okay. How many ways are there to choose 5 cards from a standard deck of 52? So how many is the total? 52, and which one is that, n or r? N is 52, r is 5. I'm choosing 5, so maybe I choose an ace, a 10, a 7, a jack, and a 4. Those are the 5 cards that I choose, right? How many different ways are there? It's going to be a big number. Huge number, okay? So, permutation or combination?
Combination.
Why?
Because
it doesn't matter. If I choose an ace and then a 10, it's the same thing as me choosing a 10 and then an ace. They're all going to end up in my hand, right? So it doesn't matter. This is a combination. Order doesn't matter. All right, so 52C5. Huge number. What?
2,500,000.
500 what? 960? Holy cow. That's how many different hands that I could have, right? That's how many different hands that I could have, right? Now, if order does matter, the order in which I choose them out does matter. Is it going to be more or less than that 2 million? More, right? Because I can only choose them in a specific order. That's why gambling is such a big deal, because, like, your chances of actually winning is, like, none, because you have to choose them, like, in that exact order, right? But people still do it because they think that there's a higher chance of winning. You have, like, 1 in, like, 3 million chance of winning. Oof, right? Okay, so if you're smart at math, you don't play the lottery because you know your chances of winning are like less than this big, like fingers together this big, okay? So now they don't tell you. Example 5, permutation or combination, we have to decide. 25 students, I'm going to underline 25. What do you think that means? What do you think 25 is for? I'm guessing that's the total. That's going to be my n, so I'm just going to write it down off to the side. 25 students write their names on slips of paper. Then 3 different names are chosen. What's that? R. Okay, I'm just going to write it off to the side, all right? To receive prizes, determine whether each situation involves a permutation or combination. So choosing 3 people to each receive a no homework coupon. So 3 people are going to be chosen and then they don't have to do the homework, right? Permutation or combination, does it matter which order? Why not? Why? They're all going to get the same treatment, right? Same job, same treatment. So that is a combination. Order doesn't matter. Combination. So this is 25, C3. How many different ways can I choose 3 students out of 25? If order doesn't matter. What? 2,300 different ways that I can choose them. So maybe I choose Jason, Casey, Clayton. Or maybe I choose Tyler, Clayton, Casey. Or maybe I just swap them out. Okay, there's a bunch of different ways that I can choose them out of 25 students. All right. Part B. Choosing 3 people to each receive one of the following prizes. First prize is a new graphing calculator. Woo-woo! Those are expensive. I already told you, like $110. Woo! At Walmart right now, I think they're like $85. They go on discount as soon as school starts. but they'll go back up to $110, I guarantee. Second prize is no homework. Third prize is a new pencil. Woo. Permutation combination. Permutation, because order matters, right? Because they do not receive the same treatment. I'm going to put order matters. Okay, permutation. So 25P3. Okay, before we reveal the answer, is it going to be more or less than 2,300? More, because the order factors that back in there, right? More than 2,300, and it is a lot more, right? 13,800. Yikes, that's the number of ways that I can choose 3 people if order matters, right? Holy cow, holy cow. Okay, good? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, anything I'm forgetting? These are easy problems. You have 3 decisions to make. What is N, what is R, is it a permutation combination? Now, you also have to distinguish, like, is it a permutation combination or is it a fundamental counting principle, right?
Yep.
All right, so homework. There's a part on your homework that just asks for, like, what is NCR? What is NPR? Type those in and you're done, right? Okay, there you go. These are really quick and easy. All right, I'm going to stop my video quick, and then I'll answer questions. Stop.